So welcome back again, students, to another video lesson. So after we've discussed addition and subtraction of radical expressions, we'll now move on to multiplication and division of radical expressions. So for the lesson objectives, we will multiply and divide radical expressions applying the laws of radicals. So first is multiplication of radicals. So in order to multiply radical expressions, we should apply the second law of radical. So what is the second law of radical? So for like indices, so nth root of A times nth root of B is equal to nth root of the product of A and B. Okay, so kapag pareho yung index, halimbawa pareho silang perfect square, i-multiply lang po natin yung mga radicand. And then for unlike indices, like for example, m root of A times nth root of A is equal to A raised to the sum of 1 over M and 1 over M. So kapag hindi sila pareho ng index, so ang gagawin lang po natin is i-add natin yung mga exponents, yung mga rational exponents. So we will apply rules on addition of fractions. So let's have the first activity. Multiply the following radical expressions and simplify if possible. So let's have the first two examples for multiplication of radicals. So based from the definition of the second law of radical, so kapag same yung index, we just have to multiply the radicand. Like for example, number 1. So the square root of 3 times the square root of 27, as you can see, pareho po yung index, which is 2. So, ang gagawin lang natin, i-multiply natin yung 3 saka 27. So, the product of 3 and 27 is 81. And then, to simplify, we will extract the square root of 81. So, 81 is a perfect square. So, the square root of 81 is 9. Next, negative square root of 10 times square root of 50. So, applied pa rin po dito yung rules natin sa multiplication of integers. So, kapag unlike signs, the resulting sign will be negative. So, negative square root of the product of 10 and 50. So, 10 times 50 is 500. 500 is not a perfect square, but it has a factor which is a perfect square, and that is 100. So, express natin as 100 times 5. And then, the square root of 100 is 10. So, magiging negative 10 square root of 5. So, this will be our final answer. For the next example, so cube root of 9 times cube root of 15. So, multiply lang natin 9 times 15 is 135. 135 is not a perfect cube. Pero meron siyang factor na perfect cube, which is 27. So, express natin yung factors ng 135 na kung saan meron siyang factor na perfect cube, which is 27. So, 135 divided by 27, that will become 5. And then, pwede nating extract yung cube root ng 27. So, cube root of 27 is 3. So, our final answer will be 3 cube root of 5. Next. So, ito yung sinasabi ko kanina, yung unlike index or indices. So, since yung una nating factor is cube root and then square root yung pangalawa, so ang gagawin lang po natin dito, ito transform natin into exponential form. So, cube root of 2, that is 2 raised to 1/3 times 2 raised to 1/2. So, dahil square root siya, kaya 1/2. Okay. And then, we will apply rules on addition of fractions. So, ang kukunin natin dito is yung LCD. So, 1/3 plus 1/2. So, the LCD of 3 and 2 is 6. So, So, copy natin yung 6. And then 6 divided by 3 is 2 times 1, 2. Plus 6 divided by 2, that is 3. Times 1, 3. Then we will add 2 and 3. So, that is 2 raised to 5 over 6. So, this will not be the final answer. So, kailangan natin siyang ibalik in radical form. So, 6 will become the index and 5 will become the power exponent of our radicand, which is 2. So, sulat natin siya as 6 root of 2 to the 5th power. So, hindi natin pwedeng iwanan yung 2 to the 5th power. So, kailangan nating express yun. So, 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2, that is 32. So, our final answer will be 6th root of 32. Next, number 5. 5 square root of y times 4 square root of y cubed. So, multiply lang po natin yung 5 tsaka 4. So, that is 20. And then, square root of y times y cubed. 20 square root of the product of y and y cube is y to the 4th power. So, same index po yan. I-add lang natin yung exponent. And then, pwede nating express yung square root of y to the 4th power in exponential form. So, lilitaw siya as 20 y raised to 4 over 2. So, pwede nating i-divide yung 4 sa 2. So, our answer will be 20 y squared. So, this will be our final answer. Next, negative 3 cube root of square root of 6m times 8 cube root of 36m squared. So, negative 3 times 8 is negative 24. And then, cube root of the product of 6m and 36m squared. Negative 24. Cube root of the product of 6m and 36m squared is 216m cubed. So, 216 is a perfect cube. And then, m cube is also a perfect cube. So, sulat lang natin as negative 24 times the cube root of 216 is 6. And then, the cube root of m cube is m. So, 3 over 2, that is 1. So, 6m. Multiply lang natin, negative 24 times 6m, that is negative 144m. So, this will be our final answer. So, let's have number 7 and 8. So, for this particular examples, so we will do distribution. So, ibig sabihin, ang 7 square root of 3, i-distribute natin siya dun sa terms na nasa loob ng parenthesis, which is 4 square root of 15 minus square root of 6. As well as 8 square root of 3x, i-distribute natin siya dun sa 2 square root of x plus 5 square root of 3x. So, dito muna tayo sa number 7. So, 7 square root of 3 times 4 square root of 15 minus 7 square root of 3 times square root of 6. So, ayan, na-distribute na po yung 7 square root of 3. So, pwede na natin i-multiply. So, 7 times 4 is 28. Square root of 3 times square root of 15 is square root of 45. Minus 7 times the square root of 3 times square root of 6 is square root of 18. Next. So, 28 square root of 45. So, yung 45 pwede siyang express as 9 times 5 minus 7 square root of 18. So, 18 pwede siyang express as 9 times 2. So, 28 times the square root of 9 is 3. Square root of 5 minus 7 times the square root of 9, which is 3. Square root of 2. So, multiplying 28 and 3, that is 84 square root of 5 minus 7 times 3, 21 square root of 2. So we cannot subtract 84 square root of 5 and 21 square root of 2. It's because unlike radicals po. So hindi sila pareho ng radican. 5 yung isa naman 2. So this will be our final answer. Next, 8 square root of 3x times the sum of 2 square root of x and 5 square root of 3x. So pwede siyang distribute as 8 square root of 3x times 2 square root of x plus 8 square root of 3x times 5 square root of 3x. So, i-multiply natin. 8 times 2, that is 16. Square root of 3x times x, that is 3x squared. Plus 8 times 5, 40. Square root of the product of 3x and 3x is 9x squared. Next. So, yung square root of 3x squared, so pwede siyang extract dun sa x squared lang. Yung 3 hindi, kasi hindi naman siya perfect square. So, our answer will be 16 times x. So, square root of x squared is x, and then square root of 3 plus 40 times the square root of 9 squared, 9x squared. So, square root of 9 is 3. Square root of x squared is x. So, 16x square root of 3 plus 40 times 3x, that is 120x. Okay, so pwede rin natin siyang isulat as 120x plus 16x square root of 3. So, this will be our final answer. So, for number 9 example, so we will apply FOIL method. That is first, outer, inner, and last. So, first muna tayo dun sa F4. 4 times square root of 6. So, i-multiply natin yon. And then, yung outer terms, 4 tsaka negative 3. And then, yung inner terms, square root of 6 times square root of 6. And then, square root of 6 tsaka negative 3 yung last terms natin. So, that is negative 3 square root of 6. And then, sulat natin 4 square root of 6 plus 4 times negative 3, that is negative 12, plus square root of 6 times square root of 6, that is square root of 36, minus 3 square root of 6. And then, simplify natin 4 square root of 6 plus negative 12 plus the square root of 36, which is 6, minus 3 square root of 6. And then we combine like terms. So, negative 12 plus 6 plus 4 square root of 6 minus 3 square root of 6. So, negative 12 plus 6 is negative 6. And then 4 square root of 6 minus 3 square root of 6 is square root of 6. So, negative 6 plus square root of 6 is our final answer. Next, for number 10, so para siyang binomial na i-square natin. So, square the first term. So, magiging ganito siya. 5 square root of x, and then quantity squared, plus twice the product of the first and last term. So, magiging 2 times 5 square root of x times 3. And then, we square the last term. 3 squared. Next, so square the last term, 5 square root of x. So, 5 times 5 is 25. And then, square root of x squared, that is x na lang, plus the product of 2, 5, and 3. So, 2 times 5 square root of x is 10 square root of x times 3. So, 30 square root of x plus the square of 3 is 9. So, our answer will be 25x plus 30 square root of x plus 9. So, pwede siyang isulat as 9 plus 25x plus 30 square root of x. So, let's now move on to division of radicals. So, in dividing radical expressions, apply the third law of radical. So, the third law of radical is for all positive integers a and b, so nth root of a over nth root of b is equal to nth root of a over b. Okay, so yan, pareho sila ng index, and then i-divide lang natin yung radical ng numerator sa radical ng denominator. And then we simplify. So take note, a radical expression is said to be in simplest form if and only if the denominator has no radical. If in case the denominator has radicals, you have to rationalize it to be able to simplify it further. So, masasabi lang po natin na isang radical expression ay nakasimplify na kung wala pong radical yung denominator. So, ang gagawin po natin doon kapag may radical expressions po yung denominator, okay, may radical sign pa, okay, so i-rationalize po natin yan. So, kung paano yung pag-rationalize, explain ko po mamaya. So, let's have the second activity. So, the second activity, we will divide the following radical expression and simplify if possible. So, division of radicals. So, the first two examples, so number 1, 4 over square root of 3. So, as you can see, yung denominator natin dito is a radical expression. So, hindi po yan in simplest form. It's because, yun nga po, merong radical yung denominator natin. So, ang gagawin po natin para matanggal yon, i-multiply po natin yung radical expression na yon to both numerator and denominator. So, magiging ganito siya. 4 over square root of 3 times square root of 3 over square root of 3. So, kung ano po ang minultiply natin sa numerator, ganun din po ang imumultiply natin sa denominator. And then, mumultiply natin 4 times square root of 3, that is 4 square root of 3, over square root of 3 times square root of 3 is square root of 9. And then, simplify natin yung square root of 9. So, square root of 9 is 3. So, our final answer will be 4 square root of 3 over 3. Next, negative a over square root of 5. Negative a over square root of 5 times square root of 5 over square root of 5. Next, negative a times square root of 5, that is negative a square root of 5 over square root of 5 times 5, that is 25, and then negative a square root of 5 over the square root of 25, that is 5. So our answer will be negative a square root of 5 all over 5, or pwede nating isulat yung negative symbol katapat ng fraction bar. So this will be our final answer. Next example. So 7 over square root of 7y. So yung denominator natin dito, so is an algebraic expression. So combination siya ng constant tsaka variable. So ganun pa rin naman. Multiply natin yung square root of 7y to both numerator and denominator. So 7 times square root of 7y is 7 square root of 7y over, so the product of 7y and 7y is 49y squared. So 7 square root of 7y over the square root of 49y squared is 7y. So, simplify lang natin. 7 square root of y, 7y, over 7y. So, pwede natin simplify. So, yung 7, ka-cancel out natin. So, 7 sa numerator, tsaka denominator. So, our final answer will be square root of 7y over y. Next, 9 over 2 square root of 6m. So, dito po, ang tinatanggal lang po natin dito is yung denominator na may radical. So, in this case, ang i-multiply po natin to both numerator and denominator is only square root of 6m. Hindi po 2 square root of 6m. So, this will become 9 over 2 square root of 6m times square root of 6m to both numerator and denominator. So, 9 times square root of 6m, that is 9 square root of 6m, all over 2 square root of, the product of 6m and 6m is 36m squared. Next, 9 square root of 6m over 2 times the square root of 36m squared. So, for 36, that is 6. And then, for m squared, that is m. So, 9 square root of 6m over the product of 2 and 6m, that is 12m. And then, pwede nating i-simplify yung 9 tsaka 12, i-lowest term natin. So, yung GCF nila is 3 and 4, is 3. So, 9 will become 3. And then, 12 will become 4. So, our final answer will be 3 square root of 6m all over 4m. So, let's have number 5, the square root of x plus 3 all over the square root of x minus 3. So, sulat natin as square root of x plus 3 all over the square root of x minus 3. And then, i-multiply natin yung both numerator and denominator by the square root of x minus 3 over the square root of x minus 3. And then, apply natin yung FOIL method dun sa numerator. So, since pareho naman sila ng terms, magkaiba lang ng sign. So, that will become x squared minus 9. So, x times x is x squared. 3 times negative 3 is negative 9. Over x minus 3. Ayan. So, kasi kapag minultiply natin yung square root of x minus 3 tsaka square root of x minus 3, mawawala na po yung radical sign. So, kasi yun po yung ating target. Okay. So, this will be our final answer. The square root of x squared minus 9 all over x minus 3. So, for number 6, we have the square root of 6 all over cube root of 6. So, since 3 yung index ng ating denominator dito, kailangan din po nating mag-multiply ng cube root na expression. So, kapag nag-multiply tayo ng cube root of 6 sa cube root of 6, magiging cube root of 6 squared. So, hindi pa rin natin maaalis yung radical. So, kailangan, ang i-multiply natin sa kanya is cube root of 6 squared. Dahil, kapag pinag-add natin yung exponents ng same basis na yan, magiging 3. So, that like for example, 6, ang exponent niya, 1, di ba? And then yung 6 squared, yan, 2. So, 1 plus 2 is 3. So, same basis kasi sila, product rule. So, pwede natin i-cancel out yung radical nun. And then, yung nasa numerator, so square root of 6 times cube root of 36. So, 6 squared, that is 36. And then, cube root of 6 cube naman sa denominator. And simplify muna natin yung nasa denominator bago natin gawin yung nasa numerator. Ayan. Next. So, since magkaiba ang index ng ating mga radical expressions dito sa numerator, kailangan po natin yung express sa exponential form nila. So, for square root of 6, kailangan po 6 raised to 1/2. And then, yung 36 kanina na sinabi ko, express natin siya as 6 squared. Okay. So, 6 squared magiging 6 raised to 2/3 over 6. Next, kailangan nating i-add yung 1/2 tsaka 2/3. So, ang LCD nila is 6. So, 2 and 3 is 6. So, sulat natin 6 raised to, ayan, 6. So, 6 divided by 2, that is 3 times 1. So, 3 plus 6 divided by 3, that is 2 times 2, that is 4. Next, i-add natin yung 3 tsaka 4. So, that is 7. So, magiging 6 raised to 7 over 6. And then, express ulit natin sa radical formula. So, 6 will become the index. And then, 7 will become the power of the radical, which is 6. So, magiging 6th root of 6 raised to 7. Is this the final answer? No. So, kailangan pa rin nating simplify. So, yung 6 raised to the 7th power, pwede nating express as 6th root of 6 to the 6th power times 6. So, itong 6 raised to 6 na to, lalabas siya. So, final answer is 6, 6th root of 6. So, let's have number 7. So, the square root of 25 over 144. So, simple lang naman. Pwede natin paghiwalayin as square root of 25 over the square root of 144. And then, square root of 25 is 5. Square root of 144 is 12. So, our final answer is 5 over 12. Next, ito naman sa number 8, kabaliktaran. So, cube root of 625 over cube root of 5. So, since same index naman yung ating mga expressions, so pwede nating isulat as cube root of 625 over 5. And then, simplify natin, cube root of 625 over 5. So, 625 over 5 is 125. And 125 is a perfect cube. So, our answer will be 5. So, for number 9, we have 4 over 7 minus square root of 2. So, ang gagawin po natin dito para ma-eliminate po yung denominator na 7 minus square root of 2, kailangan po nating i-multiply yung kanyang conjugate. Okay, so ibig sabihin ng conjugate na yan is magmumultiply tayo ng same term, magkaiba lang po ng operation. So, imbes na 7 minus square root of 2 ang ating i-multiply to both numerator and denominator, we will multiply 7 plus square root of 2. Ayan. Next, 4 times 7 plus square root of 2 over 7 minus square root of 2 times 7 plus square root of 2. So, dahil pinag-multiply po natin yan, pareho ng terms, magkaiba lang ng sign. So, i-multiply lang natin yung dalawang first term. Ikakopy natin yung negative. Tapos, i-multiply natin yung dalawang last terms. So, 7 times 7 is 49. And then, minus, so, square root of 2 times square root of 2 is square root of 4. And square root of 4 is 2. Next, 4 times 7, that is 28, plus 4 times square root of 2, that is 4 square root of 2, all over, the difference of 49 and 2 is 47. So, our final answer will be 28 plus 4 square root of 2 all over 47. Next, the square root of x plus 3 over the square root of x minus 5. So, dito, i-multiply natin is square root of x plus 5 over the square root of x plus 5. So, tandaan lang po natin. So, kung yung sign dito sa denominator is minus, i-multiply natin yung same term, kaya lang baligtarin natin yung sign. So, that will become positive. So, ayan. Square root of x plus 3 times the square root of x plus 5 all over x minus 25. So, square root of x times square root of x is square root of x squared. So, square root of x squared is x. Negative 5 times 5 is negative 25. And then using FOIL method, so first terms, so square root of x times square root of x is x. And then outer terms, square root of x times 5, that is 5 square root of x. 3 times square root of x is 3 square root of x. 3 times 5 is 15 over x minus 25. Then our final answer will be x plus 8 square root of x plus 15 over x minus 25. Or pwede rin namang 15 plus x plus 8 square root of x all over x minus 25. So next lesson natin, after nating discuss yung operations on radical expressions, is solving radical equations. So kung sinolve natin nung first quarter yung quadratic equations, we also have radical equations. So kung paano yung process ng pag-solve ng radical equations, sa next video lesson ko po, i-discuss. So yun lamang po, maraming salamat.